We are engaged in a conflict here. It's a proxy war with Russia, whether we say so or not. That effectively is what's going on.
Boris Johnson has admitted something, which I've covered before, how Boris Johnson admitted that the war in Ukraine is a proxy war. And if you admit the Ukraine war is a proxy war, it destroys all of the reasons that we were told that we had to support Ukraine. Once you admit it's a proxy war, everything unravels. And yet I covered the fact that Boris Johnson several months ago wrote an article, I can't remember which outlet, wrote an article where he said what we're fighting for in Ukraine is Western hegemony. Like basically Western control of the world is what we're, so he didn't use the words proxy war, but he was saying it's a proxy war. If you're fighting for your Western control of the world, proxy war. But here he is saying the actual words.
Let's face it, we're waging a proxy war. We're waging a proxy war, but we're not giving.
Sorry, was that a little unclear? Let's try this again.
Let's face it, we're waging a proxy war. We're waging a proxy war. We're waging a proxy war.
Hold on, what was that? Sorry, I didn't hear.
Let's face it, we're waging a proxy war. We're waging a proxy war, but we're not giving our proxies the ability to do the job. And we're
oh, just straight up in your face. This is a fucking proxy war. And by the way, could he look any more like the troll from Princess Bride? Like he's trying so hard to look like the dude that lives in the tree stump from Princess Bride. Honestly, I've never seen anyone try that hard to look like the guy with it's like green stuff growing out of his face. Really, really impressive. It's impressive work. I don't know if this was filmed on Halloween, but well done, Boris Johnson. But of course, he is not the only one to publicly admit, and I brought this video to you when it aired a couple years ago. This is Leon Panetta, former defense secretary, former head of the CIA.
I think we are engaged in a conflict here. It's a proxy war. It's a proxy war with Russia, whether we say so or not.
Sorry, what was that?
A conflict here. It's a proxy war with Russia, whether we say so or not.
Sorry, I had my earplugs in. What?
We are engaged in a conflict here. It's a proxy war with Russia, whether we say so or not. That effectively is what's going on. And for that reason, we've got to make sure we're providing as much weaponry as possible to give the Ukrainians the ability to continue what is a very courageous fight.
So they go on, both of them, Panetta and Boris Johnson, go on to say, no, they should fight our proxy war. They should all die for us. We're not going to be there. We're not going to be the ones dying. Certainly the rich of America are never the ones dying, or their kids. We're not going to be there, but those Ukrainians should definitely go walk into the meat grinder in our proxy war against Russia. And I need you to say again that once you admit it's a proxy war, all the other propaganda about it's Ukraine fighting Russia, Russia invaded, and it's just Ukraine. Who knows who blew up the Nord Stream pipeline? And it's just Russia's attacking Ukraine, and Ukraine's just trying so hard to fight. Once you admit it's a proxy war, all that justification is out the window. It's all out the window. You can't say 80% of what they've said once you admit it's a proxy war. And by the way, this is yet another topic where when it first started happening, like that year, 2022, was it? Those of us saying it was a proxy war from day one, and those of us giving you the history that goes back to 2014 or even before 2014, we were tarred and feathered. We were called Putin apologists. We were called everything and of course censored. And I'm still shadow banned. I'm still shadow banned on essentially every platform for saying things like this, for saying this is a proxy war. I'm just agreeing with the goddamn former defense secretary, former head of the CIA. I'm just agreeing with Boris Johnson, former prime minister when this proxy war started. I'm just agreeing with those guys. And yet 12 people are allowed to see my Facebook. Even New York Times has admitted the CIA was training and arming Ukrainians in 2014. New York Times admitted that. But I'm the one who gets shadow banned on all these platforms.